They say that, the devil is a prince of deception. So if the devil wants to win some sort of war, what does he do? He has to figure out ways to distract you from finding out what that purpose is, keeping you, fearful, keeping you confused, keeping you in a space of not knowing what to do next, frustrated, et cetera, so that you can continue down a road of unhappiness, unjoyful, things of that nature. So again, I could go on about that, but to answer, I guess your question is the original question, the purpose of, I guess cutting off things is really just to find out who you are and, why you're here. Life could be really easy, bro. And that's really just understanding when you've got to go and get some reassurance from the thing that created you, the person that created you, the entity that created you, right? And I'm always going to go back to that. I'm always going to go back to that because that really is the root of, I think, where most people succeed or fail. It's that. When I had those moments where I was upset at the world, I'm speaking in very, wide, ranges. I'm not speaking in specifics, but I was pissed off at a bunch of people. For what? For what? I let those feelings aside, and opportunities start rolling in the way they should be again. But why is that? Because life in itself is just very illogical. Let's put it like life is illogical.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of In the Room podcast, where we learn, laugh, and hear. And part of the giggles, I'm here with a brother for a very long time. This is a friend of mine that inspired what you see here today. Before it was a platform of a podcast, he inspired me in ways when I was in a different industry. Just watch the way he remained himself throughout the entire process and impacted. Yeah, I'm not even stretching here. I think he impacted over millions of people. No, I'm not even going to.
You might be stretching.
Like, all right, here's what I mean. If we thinking about directly what you've done in your organization, that shit was crazy, but it was a worldwide company though. So I don't know if I'm stretching when I say hundreds of thousands for sure. Millions of people, I think we're not even stretching. So nonetheless, you heard the humble in the introduction, right? But the impact has been great, not because how he does it. That's one thing. It's about who he remains, all right? So this one's going to be an episode I don't even know what we're going to speak about just yet. We're going to go there, but the man that I watch cultivate relationships out of thin air that say like, yo, I'm going to, whoever that is, I'm going to make sure I get to know that person, et cetera, and makes it happen. The man that says, yo, I want to do this, that, and the third, and then it fucking happens. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, the great Michael Jex is in the building. Man. Clap it up for my man, Michael Jex.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that, bro.
Mike, my brother, thank you.
Thank you for having me on, man. And congratulations. You had was this the seat?
That's the same seat, B.
Really?
Same seat, beloved. Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good thing or bad thing right now.
Timing is crazy, right? Yo, stop. First of all,
let me get some sage. Let me sage this shit over here real quick.
I literally got the sage over there though. Y'all, for the record, can y'all stop texting me? He's not my friend, right? I don't know the guy directly. And God, look.
Oh, you getting pressed right now?
Yo, my DM, get your man. Rob, you the feds, bro? He came to your show.
They trying to indict you with him?
Indict me. I'm like, yo, guys, calm down. I have 40 minutes with the man. But yeah, that's where everybody's at, bro. Some great relationships. Great relationships.
I'm honored, man. Thank you.
For sure, bro. Mike, I want to first say, it took you a long time to get here due to this traffic, right? Forget about us trying to get this episode on. Mike's on a 26-hour fast.
Well, I just had some, I don't want to say the word.
You had some nuts.
I had some peanuts, man.
Peanuts.
It's crazy. As soon as you get to New York, you can't say...
Yo, Mike, I'm not going to let the world change this, bro. You had some mixed nuts. You had some salted mixed nuts, bro. That's what it's at. Where's the nuts? I'm tired of this, bro. Look, bro. Give it a sense.
So technically, I broke the fast because I had...
mixed nuts.
I had some nuts. Pause, man. Come on, man.
So he had some salted mixed nuts.
So broke the fast.
Right, fair enough. Yep.
Fast broke.
Had nuts to break the fast.
Right. Had nuts to break the fast sounds so crazy. I hope you edit some of this shit, bro.
breaking the fast for some nuts.
Yo, how are we starting off like this, bro? What I think what most people who's watching this don't understand is I don't know how many super close friends you have that do this podcast with you.
Not ready.
But we, huh?
It's not really our relationship, the level of close. So this is gonna be one of those.
It's a rarity, I guess.
For sure.
Yeah.
So Smiley,
it's always like this.
Yeah, it's always. It's not gonna change. So the platform.
But it's crazy because you started it. It was high, like millions of people, and then all of a sudden that shit took a swan dive. Nuts. He had nuts. He walked in here and had salty nuts. Fuck. Destroyed the edification, my nigga.
Mike, we're speaking the truth. If you want to break it fast, have some nuts. You can do it.
You said that you eat nuts before.
I eat nuts all the time, bro.
You know what's crazy?
Now, listen, I'm not gonna get crazy. Like we grow, all right. Son. Like I eat nuts, peanuts, all the moments.
Why is it that when you get into New York,
you can't say none of that?
Can't say none of that.
Nothing
shit.
Can be said. I'm gonna be real with you. There's some parts.
I moved out of New York and it just
you could just
get that, and then now as soon as you
get here, the pause land, especially shout out to Cam and Mace, right? Like they wild and they pausing everybody.
Shout out to them.
All right, so let me get serious now. Let me get serious. Fasting, all right? Fasting has become something that you definitely brought to my attention, all right? But I also seen you do that outside of food and things that don't serve you anymore, all right? So I first want to speak on why would you fast for 26 hours, right? What does that do for you? I would be not able to do it. Podcast after that.
You could.
26?
Yeah.
You've been wanting me to. I could do a 6 to 10.
Nah, 20. You could do more than that, bro. Humans ain't meant to like really eat that much, bro.
Mike's had this theory forever. Mike's
it's not a theory, it's the truth.
26
Now, don't get me wrong. First of all, let me just say this. I am no health guru or nothing like that, but fasting has helped me a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely helped me a lot. So I had a doctor tell me a couple years back, you know what I mean? Because I was always working out. Always, like I loved working out. Working out was something that relieves stress, and I played ball growing up. So I mean, working out was not like a thing that I ever had an issue with. But I realized when I first moved to Florida and I was trying to work out and thought I was eating right, things of that nature. I realized that first of all I had to get some education from a doctor, not just any doctor, but I have a holistic doctor that I've been seeing over the last several years, and she put me on to some things that I just didn't know about my body. And that's the thing, everyone's body's different. So what works for me may not work for y'all, but for me it worked. And learned that one of the reasons why at that time I couldn't really drop any weight was because I had a high level of cortisol in my system. So cortisol, that's your stress hormone. So when your stress hormone is high, you have the fight or flight mechanism that's happening inside of your body. So when your stress is high, your body thinks it needs to hold on to everything because it thinks you're, in the fight for its life. So that includes fat, right? So if you lower your cortisol, which is your stress hormone, then you can allow yourself to lose fat, burn fat. So one of the things that I did that I learned to eliminate the cortisol stress hormone, and also if you have any sort of insulin resistance or something like that, which is also what I dealt with, and I didn't know any of this until my doctor put me on. The fastest way to cure all of that is fasting. So every time you eat something, as soon as you eat something, it spikes insulin, right? And if you have issues of trying to lose weight or anything like that, the moment you spike your insulin, I'm talking about even, for example, if you just have a grain of rice, and I'm being sarcastic a little bit, but if you ingest anything, it spikes insulin. If there's insulin in your system, also you cannot burn fat in the vicinity of insulin. So those two things gets eliminated by fasting. So once you fast, it helps your body kind of clear out the unused hormones from cortisol and the insulin. So that helps.
I mean, I'm just trying to tell you, right? Mike's a very educated man, as you can tell, right? And the reason I bring that to your attention is because, one, starting with knowing that it took him, he was in traffic for mad long. That alone is stressful. We get here, tells me he's on 26 hours. I'm like, damn, to be able to operate in that kind of condition to you now, it's like it's whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else in your life besides fasting, I guess, with food that you felt like you had to stay away from, be strict 26 hours or some type of strict fast to then transcend your life or decision making or business?
If I had to take a guess, yeah, probably. I would say if anyone ever wanted to figure out who they really are, spend some time fasting from other people in general, right? Hold on, if you want, we could, I think this phone is going off. I don't know if that's mine or not, but, oh, there you go, yeah. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, like I think, especially like right now, so we have, social media that's really easily accessible to us. We could either call somebody immediately if we get lonely. We could text somebody immediately if we, want to interact with somebody. But more importantly, right, if we are bored, we just get on our phone and start scrolling. Like we get distracted by it's very easy to be distracted. But sometimes you need to, get to figure out who you are as a person to get kind of close. I'm about to get deep a little bit, right? But if you want to get closer to and I know that's kind of where you wanted me to go. So, if you want to get a little bit closer to, your inner self, your purpose per se, and I know you got some things lined up, but yeah, being alone, fasting, not eating food is like it's a mental exercise. Long story short, it's really what it is because, we're really not supposed to eat that. Eating 5 times a day is fucking nonsense, and this is something that we've argued about a lot, right? It's nonsense. 5 times a day. Now, mind you, that may work for certain people, right?
That's it.
But for the most part, that's not like humans ain't supposed to be doing that.
Yo, I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead.
But that, like I said, that's a mental exercise. Mm-hmm. Being by yourself, not having, resisting the urge to, want to be distracted by scrolling or calling somebody. The more you do that, the more you can get really in tune with who you are. I get a little bit deeper into that too, but I mean, like, yeah,
the door is there. Dive.
Not.
You know what I'm saying? Like dive. Yeah, dive.
No, so what do you think? Like, where did that question derive from?
So the only reason I asked that question, right, is because I've watched you. All right, here's how I heard of Mike. The first time I hear about you is this is a guy who loves music, right? Makes beats and went to school for music, audio engineering.
That's how you heard of me?
This is how I heard about you.
That's so crazy.
Before I met you, there's a dude that like he was into audio engineering, etc. And then he got started in the industry of network marketing with an unemployment check.
Which is true.
And I'm like, okay. And the dude he's the one that's running the entire New York City. This is how I heard about you.
Very true.
Right? He went from unemployment check to millions of dollars a year.
True.
Very true. And I was like, that shit I know it sounds crazy. I get it. Someone gets started in the business with an unemployment check and then ends up making 4 years later, he was doing $1 million a month, at least. $1 million a year, I'm sorry. At least.
20. So I got started in 2010. Mm-hmm. And by the end of 2013.
By the end of 2013, you're doing $1 million a year. Mm-hmm. That's a fucking... People can't, personally, without being in the field, to understand compound interest, compound effect, compound exponential growth, right? Something had to switch. Like, how do you cut off something that you love? You still love music to this day, but you cut that off completely to go see something that not everybody can see. Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't like, respectfully, I don't know what the industry of network marketing does today. I'm not involved today. Mm-hmm. But when we got started, you were a story that it was like one of the highlighted stories overall. Mm-hmm. And that's where the question came. Like, so how do you get those kind of results? To fast for 26 hours, it's something to me that seems extreme, right? To get into a business, and then I'm going to get into all your business accolades, bro. This is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to find out what is the mechanism that Mike has that he goes from zero to what the fuck over and over and over. Is it because you fast well and you stay away from things? Right? Like, what is the component? I already know how you manifest shit. I understand that. But what's the side of that we may not be seeing?
The answer is honestly simple, but we'll dive into it. Is having a really good, close connection with God. You know, I have a deep connection with God. And I think that especially we talked about distractions. Today is so difficult to have that because we're distracted so much. And I'm not, immune to that either. You know, I've had my times too where I get distracted and, life happens and we get frustrated and we get upset and we start blaming, just shit in general as to why we have these negative things going on in our lives. And then we slowly start to forget what we should be focused on. You know what I mean? But to kind of go back a little bit, right? You said when I got started with the company that we were with, I used my unemployment check. True. I didn't even know what network marketing was.
Wait. You got a fucking voicemail from someone you haven't seen in years.
No.
No.
I knew we were cool. No,
right.
We were cool.
You got a voicemail though. The system was set wrong. Everything went wrong first. Mm-hmm. Still get started.
Mm-hmm. Still got started. Because you have there's some divine intervention that happens in people's lives, man. You just kind of got to listen to it. So I'll give you an example. I want to say maybe a couple months prior to seeing the opportunity, that network marketing business, I remember telling my mother, I want to have a job where I could travel. I swear, right? Now, mind you, the company ended up being, a company based around travel. And I used to tell my mom that, I want to do something that has to do with traveling. Cool. So we start there, right? That's something that I kind of had in my mind. And for anyone that's listening, things that pop up in your mind or from your, within your spirit, that comes from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So that was something that I kind of had in my mind for a long time. Truth be told, you mentioned music. The only reason why I wanted to have a career in music is because I wanted the lifestyle of being able to travel and do a lot of stuff. It wasn't necessarily the music. Mind you, I didn't make no money doing music. I was kind of in the pursuit of learning the music industry, music business, and learning how to even create it. And the creative process, even to this day, I'm still very intrigued about, right? But I don't do it now, and it's not something that takes up any of my time. But I'm intrigued by. I respect people who are musically inclined. You know what I mean? But when I saw the opportunity, I already had this seed planted in my head that I wanted to do something in that nature. So that's one, right? I felt like I wanted to have a specific type of lifestyle. So now I get a phone call from a friend of mine, right? Leaves me a voicemail telling me to go on a website, check this website out. The website had a presentation on it, and I go on it. Mind you, this was 5 a.m. in the morning. I get a phone call from my homie. He tells me to go check. And here's the reason why I got this voicemail that early or late. I was leaving the studio from another friend's house that we're mutual friends. So if I remember correctly, I think he knew that I was up, but I didn't pick up the phone. Right? I was just on the way home. I didn't feel like talking. He left me a voicemail. Tells me, listen, I'm working on something. I don't remember the exact words, but check this website out. I went on the website. When I got home, watched the video, it's a 15-minute video. And I watched it maybe for 3 hours. I'm not even joking, 2 hours, back to back to back. I'm like, damn, this is interesting. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe a day or two later, I hit him back. I think it was the next day. I hit him back and I said, this looks interesting. I think I want to do it. He invited me out to come meet somebody, in the city to, I guess, elaborate a little bit more about what it was about. Now, mind you, I want to give y'all this image, right? I meet him in the city, and we sit down in a coffee shop, and the person that is me, him, my boy, and the other individual that's sharing the information with us, he got some open toe sandals on, little beat up shoes.
Someone's outside like this. You feel me?
Bare. Pretty much. Had a little leather strap. And,
Jesus one's on.
Exactly. I didn't know him, never met him. And I still made the decision to say, all right, I want to do it. I was actually, for me to get out there, when I drove out there, I used my debit card to park to get a negative balance on my credit card or my debit card just to be there, right? And I remember having a unemployment check that I would get every week, and the unemployment check, no bullshit, was $360, and it cost $359 to do this shit. My iPhone broken, okay, and I'm getting to a point. There's a reason why I'm even saying all this, right? My iPhone broke, and 360. I got a negative balance. I think I even asked my mom for like $20 so that I can make sure that I cover the negative balance. My daughter was like a newborn at the time. Shit's crazy. Okay?
Nuts.
I still say I want to do this. I waited for the day from that my unemployment check got deposited, and my homeboy, ran my card, and the rest is history. Like I got started. Now, mind you, my iPhone, the screen is shattered. I had already called AT&T to tell them, send me a new phone. But they never charged my card yet. And I didn't receive the phone yet either. But they didn't charge my card yet. And at this point in time, this was a while back, man. This was like, I think iPhone 3, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I had a decision to make. They didn't charge my card. I saw this thing I don't really understand or fully know, but feels like I should do it. And how many people would say, yo, fuck that shit, man. I got to get a new phone. You know what I'm saying? Where does those decisions come? This is the point I'm trying to make. Where do those deciding factors come from? That doesn't come from our, intellect. That comes from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And I got to give it, I didn't do anything special. Trust me, especially at that point in time of my life, it wasn't shit special about me. But I felt like I was in tune enough to know what direction I should take, and me being in tune with God, I definitely know for a fact that helped along the way, and that's helped every single way. So you mentioned, how, being able to kind of do this thing, where you can find your way to get to different levels. That does not happen without understanding and knowing your purpose. And what is your purpose? That purpose is given to you by a higher source. And understanding what that is only going to come from, to kind of go back to your probably original question, right? The fasting aspect is getting to know who you are. Like, who are you? You know what I mean? Why are you here? Like, what is the purpose of me being here? Is my purpose only just to, go to work and come home and scroll on TikTok and then watch a Netflix show and then go to sleep and then come back the same day? Come back to work the next day and just do the same thing over and over again. Not saying that is wrong in any way, but I do feel like if you're a human being, right, you've been here, you are here for much more than that. You could have been anything else. Like, really think about this type of shit, right? If you're here as a human, you're on the top of the food chain, right? Top. You could have been anything else. You could have been a
chair.
A moth. No, a chair isn't living. You could have been a fucking moth, a dolphin, a tree, a roach.
Right.
Mouse, you could have been mad shit. Nah, you are a human, right? Mm. God's highest form of creation, in whom he made in his image, right? So we look like him. So that means that we're here for something. He could have made us into anything else. So that means that if we're here for a reason, we have to figure out what that is. But then you go on the other side, right? The other side of that is they say that, the devil is a prince of deception. So if the devil wants to win some sort of war, what does he do? He has to figure out ways to distract you from finding out what that purpose is. Keeping you, fearful, keeping you confused, keeping you in a space of not knowing what to do next, frustrated, et cetera, so that you can continue down a road of unhappiness, unjoyful, things of that nature. So again, I could go on about that, but to answer, I guess your question is the original question, the purpose of, I guess cutting off things is really just to find out who you are and, why you're here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is fucking Michael Jex, you heard? Mike, what do you feel like is your purpose today?
That's a good question. I think it's something that I have a conversation with him probably daily, multiple times a day about. If I had to take a guess, it has to, go along the lines of communicating, for sure, right? Because when you look at what someone's purpose is, it's always aligned and tied with something you're naturally good at. Right? Why are some people just naturally good at certain things? It's kind of because they might be here to do that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I've always naturally been able to build relationships. Why that is, I don't know. You know what I mean? But, from all across a bunch of different industries, right? I've just always been able to create great friendships, great relationships with people. And then also like being able to like communicate in a way that even when we used to do like trainings and stuff like that, like I could tell, no joke, like I could tell, like I would look at other people's trainings, and then even when I would go speak, I could tell when I speak, it was different. I felt like and feel like, when I speak, whatever's going on in my head, I can verbalize it in a way that someone can not only hear me but feel me. And that's not something that I was trained on necessarily. Yeah, I think practice and hold on it, but I think that's a gift that I was given. So if those things were given to me as a gift, then that means that's probably a part of my purpose that I, need to use more of, and which I do. You know what I mean? I do it, maybe not publicly as much as I probably should, but definitely, in work and things of that nature.
As I say here, and I'm thinking about this, right? Because I remember being at your crib, and you said something along the lines of how I guess you got it to a level, because this is what I loved about you, Mike. Like when Mike got his moments, when you got your moments where you wanted to see your people win. I don't know if you remember this, bro. There was a time you hit me up. It was probably like 2 a.m, bro. And that's when I knew you was different. Huge organization, endless amount of people, and you text me at 2:00 a.m. and just checking in to see how I was doing, because you also know what I was doing in my business. But I didn't know, right? Like you was able to see what was going on, but it was a genuine care at that time. I'm like, bro, how does Rob come to mind at this time, right? And then I also watched you create relationships intentional, like Timberland. When you said, I'm gonna meet this man one day, and once I do, it's over from there. Not even those weren't your words, but I just remember you saying you're gonna make that happen. Networking, right? To be able to connect and communicate with all these kind of people from the Bronx, New York, that are barefooted on a podcast, to one of the greatest producers in the world, right? Mm-hmm. Coming from where you come from. How do you do that, Mike?
Because that's another thing too. Like that was subconscious. I never like verbally said, "Yo, I gotta meet him." Right? Like,
right.
I was just subconscious. Like, Timberland is my favorite producer of all time, and I'm not saying that because he's a friend of mine. I always believe that. You know what I'm saying? And then, literally one day, I walk up into a gym in Miami, and he's working out in there. I ended up going to that gym, and we ended up getting cool. But
so, okay, hold on. Don't rob me from that. So when you see him, right? Like finally, I'm in there. I see Tim. Like, I don't fan out? I mean, a lot of people. We know a lot of people. We're not really fan out people, but a teaching point for people that are listening. Mm-hmm. After saying one day I must meet this man, and then finally seeing him in that environment, it's like, it's the gym. Do I go, well, am I going to see him again? Do I take the shot now? Do I come often and see? I know the intention is like, oh, Timber's in my gym. But how does that even start? Like, where does Mike start to initiate this relationship, this friendship?
I mean, at first it was just like, oh shit, like that's Timberland. Mm. But that was it. Me and him got cool actually because the owner of the gym was both of our trainers. It was a boxing gym. So I'm cool with him. Tim is cool with him. And then he was just like, yo, y'all got to link one day. And mind you, I didn't ask for that. Like, it wasn't forced or anything like that. It just happened. You know what I'm saying? Also, too, like a teaching point, right? The owner of the gym is not going to suggest that if I'm not in motion. Like, if I'm not about business or if I'm not doing something. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're just kind of like, you're not doing shit, then, people sense that, and there's no reason for him to want to make that connection. You know what I'm saying? So that was really it. There was nothing more than that. Like, I've never once said, yo, I got to meet him. No. It was always not. Just, I have a level of admiration and respect for him, but it was always that. You know what I'm saying? I'm from New York, too, at the end of the day. Like, niggas ain't want it like that. Right. So it was cool that he worked out at the gym. We even worked out at different times. Like, he didn't work out necessarily at the time that I was working out when I first got to the gym, and then eventually like we ended up working out around the same time because of the owner of the gym. You know what I'm saying? He connected, and then we just got cool. We just got super cool after that.
Yeah, and this, it's just magic to see that happening. And this is why I asked that question too. Because today, what does Mike do today, right? How is Mike still still walking out, looking fly as ever? You feel me? Guy stays sharp. Mike stays sharp, lives a life. All right, Mike will never brag about his lifestyle, but Mike has had every fucking car that you can think of. Yeah,
He's lying. He's lying.
Let's talk about it, because I want to know. I want to know, right? Like, Mike will literally have cars that I'll see in movies and then be like, and it never was braggadocious. It was like, I wanted the car, so I got the car, got rid of the car. So this other car, I like this car, got the car, got rid of the car. Mike had more cars than I had jeans. No bullshit. I'm not capping. So I want to know your relationship with money. All right. How do you view money? And what's that relationship like? Because today I want people to know what you do for work or what do you do for a living. Because I don't necessarily know all the details of that. And then how's that come about?
So all the car buying was horrible relationship with money. Truth be told, horrible relationship with money, because that's just me like getting out childhood fantasies in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Terrible relationship with money at the time. And also thinking that it's just abundant. So that's another thing too, right? Like as life goes on, you get to learn certain things. You know, spending an abundant amount of money on things that really don't have no value like that, like vehicles. You know, that's also giving the wrong energy towards money. You know what I'm saying? Those are liabilities. You know, so yeah, I've had a bunch of cars, but all those cars to me, they turned out to be learning lessons. You know what I'm saying? More so than anything else. Great experiences though, by the way. Great experiences, cool experiences. And I wouldn't change it, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, yeah, would I tell anyone to go out and, you know, buy all these like type of exotic cars? I mean, if you have it, cool. Maybe if you want to experience it, cool too. But if I look back, I would have done it much differently. For sure. I would have done it much differently. But in this moment right now, I'm not mad at it because, you know, definitely great experiences. But my relationship with money now is, you know, just making sure that I'm respectful to it. Because you don't respect money when you are throwing it towards liabilities, right? So you gotta kind of take those experiences for what they are, and you know look back and say, okay, cool, that was great. And then even now, like you say, okay, cool, this is nice, but this is not everything, you know. And being more diligent, which now, like, you know, looking at investments in a much different way. Even like, I mean, I definitely have a very different relationship with money today than when I do then. And I think that's really probably because there was portions of time where the money slowed down. When the money slows down, so this goes into another story or teaching point, I should say, when it comes to the man above. You're always going to get some sort of lesson in your life. And these lessons are always most of the time they're going to come in forms of uncomfortable, frustrating situations. But that's just only because these are areas in your life where you may be weak. All he want to do is get you stronger. But instead of you looking at your bad situation as a teaching point or a teaching moment, and you look at it as a moment to dwell in frustration and cry and moan about it, you never get to learn the lesson, and you never really pass that specific point. So, yeah, my relationship now, because I've had those experiences where, you know, money didn't come in as fast as it once was. Then I had to just sit back and say, okay, cool. Well, what's the learning lesson of this? And if I had it before, that means that I can have it again. And if we live in a world of abundance, then yeah, what I had before can tenfold. You know what I'm saying? Which is what we're working on now. You know, so yeah, I don't know.
What the hell are you doing, Mike? I see pictures of you flying, traveling again.
Well,
you're on stages.
Yeah. So again, consulting. You know, using my communication skills to consult for, you know, different companies. So there's one specific company right now that I consult for that I do the most consulting for now. and their company is based out of Dubai, and they have a real estate, portion of their company that has an affiliate, aspect to it. So they knew my background with network marketing, so they asked me to come on board and help them build this portion of the company. It's a massive company. It's a huge company, like multi-billion-dollar company. They have a bunch of different assets, and aspects of their company that's even outside of real estate. But this company here, they want to, build up their not only their real estate, their real estate company's been around for over 10 years. And they only serve the UAE region, the United Arab Emirates region, so Dubai and Abu Dhabi. They're growing into the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia. That's a crazy investment area right now too. But I'm just associated with some companies that's doing some major things. So that's another way to get your income up. Being associated with some entities that's moving in the right direction that you want to be moving in.
And here's why I asked that question, right? Because of a person with this depth of a background, the resume that you build in network marketing, it's like, why not stay in network marketing? All right. If you've done so well in this industry, especially at the rate of return that you were making money, Mike, you was at a point where you was making so much money, you felt bad because you knew that we weren't getting paid out the money you were making.
That's a fact.
Let's just talk about being a real one. When we left the company, it's because you would look at the checks and say, y'all not eating. How do I stay here? Go and then go get to a bag regardless. But then today not be doing network marketing where, me speaking from my point of view, there's people in the industry of network marketing that will stay there, never leave the industry because they think, our perception is it's all they know how to do well, but not know they can translate what they learned in the industry and apply it to other industries. Yeah. Right? So why not stay in network marketing and go get a bag they're so used to getting?
Personally, as much success that I had in network marketing, I was never really a big fan of it. I was never really I know that shit sounds crazy.
This is somehow, man. I didn't know. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, what you mean by that?
I just wasn't. I was never. It's one of the biggest reasons why I moved the way I moved with it. I was never really super public about it, and which at the end of the day also benefited me greatly because that was a secret weapon of building leaders is not really doing much for them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But still moving in a way where they can follow you, right? But yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan. I don't know. There was just something about it, I just wasn't really crazy about. But and still not crazy about the industry. You know what I'm saying? Especially now, the industry's changed a lot since I've got started and since we were in it. It's a much different world now. So for example, in 2010, when I got started, social media really wasn't around like that. And in order for us to build that company, what we had to do was we had to kind of share this idea to people that you can make money without going to a job.
Right.
That was a foreign thing just 10 years ago. I can make money without having to go pull up at a job. That's real. Now with social media, there's so many different ways that people, even if it ain't real or not, or they haven't even experienced it, there's so many different ways that people can think that they can make money outside of their job. Before, network marketing was a unique thing to earn money without having to go to work. You could do this, sell this product, make an obscene amount of money if you become a salesperson for this company. It made a lot of sense for myself and a lot of people back then, for you. Then as time goes on, especially after COVID, so COVID came, and what happened was when everyone was stuck at home during the pandemic, here's what happened. Because here's the thing, if you don't know what network marketing is, one of the biggest, one of the biggest things to make a check in network marketing is you've got to get uncomfortable. What do I mean? You've got to take a product, you got to go to your homeboy or homegirl and try to sell it to them in hopes that they buy it, right? Now, many people do not want to do that. That's just very uncomfortable. We used to have to pull up to people's cribs and pull out a laptop and plug it in the TV and then show some PowerPoint slides.
Thousands of rooms, bro. I'd have been in thousands of rooms.
Likewise, though.
Facts.
Seriously.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And mind you, though, at that time, it was like, yo, I don't mind doing this because it's going to pay off in the end. And it did. Like, it did pay off. Mm-hmm. Like, just being honest, I got to give it credit. It did pay off. But that uncomfortable feel, like, you got to be a real one to be able to, like, do that. Like, you have to have some thick skin, you know what I'm saying? To be able to build a business like that. Not everybody could do that. That's probably one of the biggest reasons why most people don't do it. So now here comes COVID, the pandemic comes and everyone's stuck on their phone. And during this time frame when everyone is home in quarantine, what they see all day long on their feed, because they ain't got shit else to do, is, yo, I could learn how to be a fucking, I don't know, trucker. I could learn how to trade. I could do all this. But these are different ways people can earn money without having to go to work. And that was the whole thing we like relied on. You can earn money without having to go to work by doing this type of business. When someone is like, well, if I take this course and I learn how to do X, Y, and Z, I don't have to go get uncomfortable in front of like people's rooms and shit like that and maybe make a paycheck. Over here, mind you, this side here is not necessarily guaranteed either. However, this feels a lot more comfortable, right? Learning how to trade and, you know, doing a bunch of different stuff. So that right there, like, kind of shattered, I think, network marketing a lot. And I'm not married to no industry. So, like, you know, when that happened, I was like, all right, it's time to maybe do something else.
Let's talk about what it takes for you to give up on an idea, right? Like, for example, you had an artist.
I did.
Mike, you had a record label, right? And again, you first started in music, right? Mm-hmm. Get to a place where you're good financially. Yeah. You see an artist and say, all right, you know what? I could do that. Whatever happened to that? And when you had to close that door, what was that process like?
For me, it's easy, bro. You play poker. You got to know when to fold. That's it. Like, I don't hold. I think that's another, like, benefit, attribute to a characteristic that I hold that other people can hold to. I don't have much, like, emotional attachment to shit. Everything is an experience for me. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to have a like an independent label. I wanted to sign an artist. I did all that. It didn't work out because I realized, right, like many others realize that goes down that path. It's up to the artist to want to, you know, take themselves to, you know, whatever, you know, point they want to take their career. I could only do so much. I'm not the artist, right? So if I only have one artist, which is why record labels have many different artists, right? Because one or two or three pop, they cover the ones that don't. I had one, and it just didn't work out. Not even to knock him, right? It just wasn't his timing. You know what I'm saying? Or it wasn't whatever. Just the timing itself, you know, just wasn't right. And yeah, I spent a lot of money, like just a whole large learning experience, tons of money, you know, definitely over $100,000 out of my pocket, you know, just in that experience. However, it was an experience. You know what I'm saying? We live in an abundant world, man. Like, I'm not going to sit here and trip over that. Like, it was something that I'm actually appreciative of the experience. You know what I mean? And that's it. We move on. That's it. Cards fold. Next hand. Is
there somebody you consulting with? Like, because this record label was yours, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't have anybody I could consult. I had an attorney that was in LA, Gary Stiffelman. That was the person who I consulted with. And that was it. Done.
Why are you wired like this, though? Right? Because it takes a lot. Mm-hmm. And I say that because we're in an age now where there's some things I want to do. Mm-hmm. Right? There's some things I want to do. And calculatedly, I'm like, yo, all right, it's going to take time, energy, and money. For sure, bro. Like, this platform here takes time, energy, and money.
I know, because I had a podcast too.
And I was gonna get there, right? Like, you know, I'm starting with I'm going through the Mike I know. It was the music label I remember first. Then you started pod in what, 2018?
2018.
Fresh out of leaving network marketing, actually, like, right when you just you didn't
we
leave
was
network
still,
marketing,
no,
left the company.
I was still in there. We were still in there.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
Start a pod. I'm like, oh, Mike got a pod. 2018, right? It was 2017, 2017 is when the pain happened. 2017 was the pain. 2018 is when you started a pod.
Yep.
And I remember, Mike, going, well, how many episodes you guys did?
Well, I started it, stopped it, I started again. So altogether, probably like 20 something.
20-some episodes, right? But for me, it felt like, I remember watching, maybe 6. You changed it, right? It was Dreams and Nightmare, then the Michael Jex podcast.
The Jex podcast.
The Jex podcast, right? And I remember just one day trying to go on there and be like, they stopped? Why they stopped? Right? But it was like, okay, well, I'm curious to know why. Like, why did Mike stop? And what was the thought process behind him stopping? Because I know he's putting some energy, time, and money behind it. And the reason I asked that question is because I think today, if I'm a listener, there's someone that is the ideas are great, but the fear of it not working is what's stopping us, right? Or stopping people. I'm gonna say us, myself. What makes Mike go, fuck if that happens, I'm gonna do it regardless. And in the self-talk of like, oh, it didn't work, and it took this much time, energy, and money. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right. So that's all. The podcast thing was a different scenario. So actually, and I want to touch on, like the label thing for a second, because you said something that made me think. The label situation and the artist situation that didn't work out, that was me just knowing this ain't it for me. I don't want to do this. So it wasn't more like it wasn't a quitting thing at all. It was realizing time to fold. I don't want to do this anymore. This don't bring joy. I don't really see how this is going to factor in later on too, especially like with streaming, and music business is not like a great business. Just long story short, it's really not. So for me, it wasn't quitting. It was knowing that, all right, this is just not it. And I don't want to do this anymore. It's a waste of my time. The podcast was different because I was way too ahead of my time with the podcast. It wasn't podcasts out there like that during that time, 2018. You know what I mean? And I was spending a lot of money, right, doing the podcast. And I was just doing it because I just wanted to get on a microphone with my two homies and just kind of talk shit. But if you're paying a production team to talk shit, it gets expensive after a little while, and you want to make sure that you see a return on investment. So a couple of things happened with that. Was like, I'm going to take number one blame, and I didn't really see the vision of it. I didn't see it like, I didn't know how it could turn out. I didn't. My partner, Dion, who wasn't on the show, but he was behind the scenes, he helped me out with the show a lot. Dion, he works in the industry, you know what I mean? And Dion was, I'm gonna give him some blame too. He ain't gonna like this, but I'm gonna give him some blame too. He was just never good at like giving me the vision either. It's not his job though, so it's a joking blame. It's not really
like he didn't paint it out there. That shit was half brushed.
His thing was always, he would always just say, "Yo, you just gotta keep going. You just gotta keep doing it. You just gotta keep doing it." And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, but my nigga, I'm paying blank every single month. I need to know, how does this flip? How does this turn? When? Yeah. Right. When is this? Because it's been a couple months and I just want to know. Mind you, I don't really think he knew either exactly how it would flip, but he knew it would. He knew it would because he's in the space. You know what I'm saying? Right. And he really, because he maybe just couldn't verbalize it properly or didn't understand how it would turn out. He just couldn't, paint that picture. And it's not his job either to do that. You know what I'm saying? But if I did, to give him credit, if I did just keep going, like I said, I think it would have really took off. So for me, I thought that was another situation with like the record label. I thought that was going to be just another like, oh, this is some bullshit. But looking back at it, I wish I did that differently, which I am going to do differently. We're not going to talk about that on the show.
Hey, you see how I try to lay it up? You know what I'm saying? Not yet.
No. Not at all.
All right. So, all right. And the reason I asked that question too is because there was involvement, right? You have people, you have partners, you had, friends on the show and stuff like that. Is there a conversation before the end is near with those?
Right now. What? Because when I watch the pod, I always joke around to myself when I see you talk, when you give the questions, when it's the hands. And I see the hands flying right now, so that means your mind is flying.
I'm on a milli right now, my boy. You feel me? Here's why I say this, Mike, because me and you have conversations offline.
Yeah.
A lot of conversations
All the time.
offline. And I'm very excited. I see 2025 being stupid in regards to the foundation that's been set with the platform and the work I've been doing offline. Well, me and Narrative it's about to be something. Y'all better get ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, we about to get stupid. You know what I mean? But I just think about having friends like you who were ahead of the curve long time ago, right? And I guess I'm just low key in your mind before I start my process to say, okay, what should I be on the look for when Mike said, nah, that's not it? Like, how did he know it was not it? You know what I mean? Like, is it the financial thing? Was it a conversation? What's the counsel? Was it the emotion? Was it the timing? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, how difficult is it to have the conversation with people that you're working with? Or is it like, yo, I'm giving y'all a heads up, I'm already feeling a type of way. This ain't the way because you've also stopped doing one thing but led to something else that paid off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that process for you.
Or having a conversation.
Like, is it having a conversation with the team? Is it like, you know, how many, there's a conversation for me to stop what I'm doing in this business. I guess that this is my ask, all right? Because I think some people are doing the wrong thing for too long and can't see the right thing right away. What's good for them in the right way because they've been doing a thing that's wrong for too long. So when you finally feel like this is not it, are you in the search for something else already, or you come across something first that said, okay, this is better than what I'm currently doing?
Well, my natural personality, I'm always looking for something. You know, I'm always looking for something. I'm always learning. Let me put it like that. I'm always learning about something new. So every time, as the days go on, I'm always honestly, I don't watch like Netflix shows. I don't watch much TV, right? But I'm always researching something on YouTube, or I'm always reading a book, right? With me at the hotel, I have 2 books that I brought with me, and I have this, again, this is like a personality thing. Me understanding what my purpose is, right? It allows me to tap into that and be okay with it. So when I'm home and I don't watch any sort of Netflix shows, again, I'm not knocking anybody who does, right? I just know me. Therefore, if I, go home and watch maybe a couple videos of an industry that's been piquing my interest, I know that that's setting me a little bit further along than maybe the next person is, because most people are home watching a Netflix show. And I'm not trying to even be in a competition or anything like that. It's just how I'm kind of wired. No joke, there's been times where someone would tell me, yo, you seen this show called such and such? Nah, and then I'll try to go home and then, I'll watch it. I'll be like an episode in, no joke, I start to get FOMO. I'm like, yo, I feel like that podcast had dropped some shit I might miss. If I don't watch it today, I'm gonna probably forget about it. Or this video that I wanted to watch so I could research this thing on. I'm that guy. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times when the conversations pop up of certain shows and, power and all that shit, I don't really know what's going on when it comes to that stuff. I'm out the loop. But that's what keeps me, I think, a little bit further along, in the loop of what I want to do next.
What do you want to do next, Mike?
A lot, bro. I'm still young, man. There's so much to do. I don't know. That's a long question. That's a whole nother podcast.
All right. What in business? In business, what is something that is intriguing you right now? Because we were just talking about before cameras come on, yo, bro, you about to get these robots?
Yeah, for sure.
Mike be all, I'm like, yo, bro, I'm not getting me a robot, but he's dead serious.
2.
Look,
I need 2.
He's ahead of yo, what do you? 2 robots.
Again. Why wouldn't I? Why somebody else wouldn't, right? If you scroll on, because Elon, just yesterday, Elon Musk had his Tesla show, pretty much showcasing all of the new Tesla products. One of them being his robot. I forgot what he calls it. But it's a robot, right? So they're gonna be on sale soon, right? Between $20,000 and $30,000 per. If you read the comments, right, in social media, I ain't getting none of that. You seen iRobot and all this stuff. Fear. I don't give a fuck about it. I'll throw water on that nigga. Right? You know
what I'm while you sleeping?
If that's the way the world is going, why am I fighting it? Not gonna fight. Oh, by the way, little old me fighting it ain't gonna change shit. I might as well move in the direction of where it's going. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, for sure. Like I want two of them shits. He could be one can be a chef, the other can be a cook. Get a third one, driver. I don't know. Like if we could do that, why not? Shit.
Yo, Mike, we could just buy people now.
Or how about this? We could buy a bunch of them and like lease them to people who maybe can't afford them.
Now we talking.
Mind you, I'm just guessing.
Right. No, I hear that. So it's nothing since we're on there, right? Saying stuff like that, right? Little old me, things that are happening in the world, you can't change them, right? Is there anything that's happening with this technology or how the world is moving that does strike a bit of fear? Like, Because I'll say that to say, I'm not afraid of AI because I understand artificial intelligence and the benefits of it and how if we learn how to use it. But any of it makes you uncomfortable? Like any things that you're thinking about right now that you're seeing and you're researching?
I mean, yeah, I think the most uncomfortable thing that we all kind of have to be aware of is, what we're fed on social media and our time spent on it. I think that's way more dangerous than AI. It's way more, on a deep level too.
Facts,
on a deep level, because at the end of the day, if you spend all your time on social media being distracted, you are being pulled away from your purpose. That's why genuinely, I've said this for a long time. If, in the Bible, they talk about, the Antichrist, like coming, down. I think the Antichrist been here. I think the Antichrist is social media. What better way to pull you away from your purpose than keeping you stuck on the phone? Just scroll. One minute you get this one feeling and idea to do this one, business you just saw an ad for. And then you scroll again and you see another thing. And then you scroll again and then you see another thing. And then like you start to get burnt. I want to try this, but I don't want to do this. I don't want to like if you don't know who you are, that stuff throws you in so many different directions that you may get burned out. You may get frustrated. You don't know why you're here. You're sad. You're depressed. And, it's very easy for this device, the phone. Obviously, you can use it for good too, but it's very easy for your phone and social media to be a fucking damaging part of your life. Ruin it. Shit could ruin it.
Massive fact. Mike, here's one thing about you that I do know, that I'm looking at, and it's admirable. I don't know why you're like this. And today I'm trying to figure this shit out. There's fucking good people in this world that you meet, that you do good by. And then down the line, shit gets weird. It goes left, and we all have fallouts with people, right? And it's a line of respect that we have. Me and Mike, all right, here's where I fell in love with Mike for real. This is when I fell in love. This is when I know this was my nigga. This is what I do. I say, yo, this is really my man, right? So one time, we're traveling. We're going to Fiji. Mind you, the flights are ridiculous, right? They're 10-hour flights. What is it, 16, 18?
It was from the East Coast to LA.
To LA, 10 hours. And then from...
No, that's 6 hours.
That was 6, I'm sorry.
I think 10, 11, yeah.
All right. I smoked my first blunt ever at 24 years old, right? Never smoked weed like that, etc. It's not me. It's not my identity. I just had a pot. As a matter of fact, if you watch the episode prior to how I was the one in the crew that would not do none of that, right? Now, this flight, for some reason, is whooping my ass. We're going to LA. When I get off on LA, I just so happened to meet with a friend that was like, yo, you want to hit this? Since you're going to get on a flight for 10 hours? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to do that. Let's do it. It's just LA weed, though. LA. So I take one little pull and I'm seeing the Matrix, bro. I'm like, oh.
Probably a mushroom.
I was so lit, it was so uncomfortable. I was like, oh my God, it's so uncomfortable. I was trying so hard to hide it. I could not hide it. I was trying to walk away from everybody. I was so paranoid at that too. Like,
I can tell.
Mad paranoid. I was like, yo, all the leaders are here. Mind you, to give you context, this is a leader trip, right? It's like the 1% of the companies all together to go on this trip. Mm-hmm. So the last thing I want to look like is a fool amongst leaders, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gone. And I'm trying. I even slept in a corner. You feel me? To try to like hide it. Mike, in the middle of a conversation, Mike like, are you fucking high right now? And I was like, oh shit, I'm snatched. And I'm fucking done. I don't know what to do, how to react. I'm like, I actually am right. So yo, what happens if I slap the shit out you right now? I was like, that shit might hurt your hand or something like that. Right? I'm like, I don't know, it might hurt you, it might hurt me. And I don't know how to fucking feel. And I feel him. I feel him as my mentor, as my bro.
And mind you, I didn't say it in front of everybody. It was just me and you.
It was a selective few. It was a little more. It's a little more.
Nah, no. You were the one that was high and I wasn't.
No, I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm gonna let you know. It was me. I'm gonna let you know who was there. It was me. We're not gonna give names. It was definitely in front of 3 other people. So this is why it made me feel like, oh, this is my nigga. I'm about to fight him when I'm sober. So this is my man. I'm about to fight Mike, son. I don't know what happened. Nah, he violated me. But then I'm like, I'm so high. I'm like, when I get off this high, nigga, I'm gonna tell my man I need 5 minutes. I'm gonna need 5 minutes because there's no way you talk to me like that, bro. But I didn't know how to feel. Genuinely did not know how to feel. And I'm looking at the view from Mike, like, who the fuck? Why would you be high right now? But mind you, after I took this nap, I went to sleep like a baby. I went to sleep like a baby. I was so tight, so embarrassed, so high, so confused. Then I wake up. And as soon as I wake up and I get off the plane, the first thing Mike did say, let me talk to you real quick. He didn't wait till I got to the hotel. Let me holler at you real quick. I want to apologize the way I spoke to you. That was wrong. And right then and there, solidified who you are as a man to me, right? Because it's not like, oh, nah, he was high, I'm gonna let him brush that off, he was wrong. He not only apologized right then and there, the next day, say, I'm gonna come back to you now and speak to you again. Let you know as my man, I didn't mean to speak to you like that. I apologize for speaking like that. And I knew right then and there, I was like, all right, now this is really a real one. Because even though I felt disrespected, for a while violated, Mike, I said, he got to see me.
The high exaggerated.
100%, and that's the part.
Because you were high, you didn't realize this. I also said it in a joking manner.
I didn't feel that.
I wasn't. It was more of like a exaggerating, like, I smacked the shit out of you right now. Like, why you high?
And my comeback was crazy. I was like, it might hurt your hand, it might hurt me. I don't know. But once I heard those words, it was like, oh, no, I got to see my man. He's my man, but I'm gonna need 5.
Now again, for context, I'm trying to explain from the outside looking in. This man was out of his mind.
No, I was gone. And I'm mind
so I'm telling you from a standpoint where I'm looking at him, and I wasn't high.
Right.
He was out of here. He was out of here.
I don't smoke weed. So I was gone.
His reception of what I said wasn't the way I gave it, and I still apologize because I didn't want him to feel like I was trying to. Because I genuinely, I didn't come at you that way. Like I honestly said it in a joking manner, like how niggas be joking around. I'll smack the shit out of you right now.
But this is
but you didn't receive it that way
at all,
and I didn't want you to receive it in another way. So that's why.
And this is why I have my utmost respect for you, right? Because when things like that happen, really allowed me to say I could trust you. Mm-hmm. That right there was the day where I really said I could dead ass trust Mike, bro. Because even for him to go out his way and do that, he didn't have to, shows the level of care he has. But then there's people that will cross people. Nasty. Dirty fucking work. Nasty, just nasty, Mike. They're just fucking gross. They're gross. It's disgusting. It's sickening. It's sociopath shit, right? Like, fucking dirty. How you look in the mirror and brush your teeth, you dirty animal? Nasty. Nasty, Mike. Nasty. And we're gonna leave no name. We're gonna leave them alone. That will cross someone that you've done so much for, right? Or show respect for. And then you find a way to forgive these people. How? It's something, to be honest, it made me go, yo, if Mike can forgive to this magnitude, I haven't grown. I gotta be better because I don't think I could ever see myself coming back from a person who's spoken to me like that, all right? How do you find it in you to forgive?
Easy, bro, easy. So look, like I said before with like the record label situation, everything is an experience for me. Everything's an experience. So I also know that no one's perfect. You know what I'm saying? And I also look at, if I see people are acting in a certain manner that I wouldn't necessarily act in, I kind of just look at them as, they haven't reached that level of maturity yet, and I can't be mad at them. Maybe they're gonna get there, at a certain point. So, mind you, I ain't always been like this either. It's taking some time. You know what I mean? But like, I don't hold any. It's also, not healthy for yourself to harbor any grudges at all. Like, you shouldn't harbor any grudges towards anybody because all that does is poison you. When I'll give you a good story. Recently happened, right? Within the last couple of years. We meaning a bunch of us that right? We invested into a couple different like trading algorithms. A bunch of us lost our fucking ass. I probably lost lifetimes worth of money. Right?
Yes.
So when something like that happens, it's real easy to be upset, blame everybody, find different causes as to why it happened, and just be pissed off at people. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, like I was at a point where I was so upset about the shit, like my mind went dark for a second. Straight up. You know what I mean? Like willing to go down some roads to go do some shit to people, but those are only for split seconds, straight up. And come to realize like, I can't be mad at anyone because at the end of the day, I was the one that decided to put my paper in there. No one put a gun to my head to go invest into these things, right? So that means that if I'm angry, I can't be mad at any other person more than I'm mad at myself for making those decisions. I gotta be mad, you know what I'm saying? So and mind you, there was a bunch of people I was upset at. The moment I started to remove that anger out of me and just kind of like growing out of it and be like, you know what, man, I can't. What am I doing being upset at? They in the same situation as me. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, things just start aligning again. And again, those are times when you have to really tap back in. Talk to God, have those conversations. Because you go back again. Life could be really easy, bro. And that's really just understanding when you've got to go and get some reassurance from the thing that created you, the person that created you, the entity that created you, right? And I'm always going to go back to that. I'm always going to go back to that because that really is the root of, I think, where most people succeed or fail. It's that. When I had those moments where I was upset at the world, I'm speaking in very, wide, ranges. I'm not speaking in specifics, but I was pissed off at a bunch of people. For what? For what? I let those feelings aside and opportunities start rolling in the way they should be again. But why is that? Because life in itself is just very illogical. Let's put it like life is illogical. And too many people believe that life is extremely logical, and it's not. Life is very illogical. And the more people understand that part of life, and I'll break that down. Give you an example. I'm sitting down right now in front of some plastic lenses, or lens, I don't know how do you say it, plural, lenses, whatever, and they're recording me and you. How the fuck, that's illogical, right? This piece of plastic that's recording us and these things that's recording our voice, it's illogical. If you want to maybe even call somebody, and then like we can actually record this and we put it up and then it's like uploaded to these platforms where people can watch it later on in the future from wherever in the world. It's kind of illogical. If you want to watch or if you want to talk to somebody that lives we're in the Bronx right now, but if you want to talk to somebody who lives in China right now, if they're awake, you can pick up your iPhone and FaceTime them, right? You can see them in real time right now. Piece of plastic in your hand that's showing the screen. It's illogical, bro. That's like seriously, that's not logical if you think about it. Right. Okay? How much illogical shit is in our life today? So many that we take for granted. Life itself is fucking illogical. Life itself. Here's what I mean by that, right? So this is the way I break down why I know that there's a higher power at play for all of us. Life. We ask science about the beginning of life.
Right.
They say the Big Bang Theory.
It's came together and crashed.
Rocks, from in the air, hits the ground, fire, ice, water, and then all of a sudden smoke, and when the smoke clears, a fucking baby's on the beach?
History lesson right now. Word, facts.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Hold on. Then that shit had to happen again for another baby. And it had to be a man and it had to be a woman.
Right.
And then these two little niggas had to raise each other.
Right.
With all the fire and the ice and all, right? They had to, and then them two populated the world. You ever seen before we started shooting, there was a little baby that came in with your sister that said hello. You think he could raise himself by himself with nobody around?
Nah, facts. Nah.
Y'all seen babies?
Right.
Anybody watch this?
Right.
Baby could raise. So someone can tell me, right? Life started with these asteroids hitting Earth, Big Bang Theory, fire, water, smoke, ice, baby. Fuck you. Like, no, life ain't start that way. This was created by something. So that means to me that if we were created by a intellectual higher power, then that means that there was probably a reason for that. So I always go back to the source. I always go back to that. Like that's where all of getting out of situations, going to a new level, trying to find the answer for problems, et cetera, whatever. Like it always goes back to, what does God want me to do?
So Mike, my final question for you is, if we look when this drops and we give Mike 12 to 24 months, what is Mike going to be doing?
Whatever he want me to do.
That's a great answer, you motherfucker. This nigga's not going to tell you what he's working on. I tried. We got to wait. Mike, look, bro. I'm going to tell you my last peak moment of you that I've watched you in fire, because you're getting it now. It's real calm, collective, educated, but you see the passion. This is the time that I saw for you that you were in the fire, right? Mm-hmm. And I kind of want to speak onto this. And no shade and shout out and respects to everybody in the industry. You did a talk on stage. We was in network marketing. And this is when I knew business is very interesting and perspective. And this is what people don't see. We were put into a room, right? Because we're from the Bronx. We're from New York. And
I'm from Brooklyn.
He's from Brooklyn. I'm from the Bronx. We from Bronx. You heard we're in the Bronx right now. You hear me?
Let's make that clear. I'm from Brooklyn.
It's mad, bro. Brooklyn be mad. Relax. I gotta chill out.
We just had to make it clear. We had to make it clear.
Yeah. Exactly. We both right. All right. Yeah. Here though. We have recording in the Bronx though. So Mike gets on stage, and at the time we was in his company, and a lot of our lifestyles would attract the people. Mike said himself right now, he's very quiet, but the life that he lived, he wasn't showing off or branding the company. He was branding his lifestyle. So our demographic, our demo per se, needed to see to believe, right? Show me the travel, show me the cars, etc. Mm-hmm. It helped build our organization. Now the company gets too big, and it has this little fear that we're gonna lose we're gonna get sued to some degree by some entity because of our lifestyle. We're showing too much of our lifestyle. Which means it's targeted more to our demo. You want the black dollar, the Spanish dollar, that's got you this entity growing to what it is, to stop doing what they're doing, right? And okay, but for some degree, we want to listen and understand. And here's what happens. Mike gets on stage in front of thousands of people. Oh my God, Mike gets on stage. And for how many?
24,000?
24,000 people. And like a real one, like a fucking, he had his balls in his hands and threw it at the motherfucking. Mike said, yo, for those that want to talk to us about this is where I come from. This is where I drive. How about I go over there with this? He went crazy. He shouted out, what is it? The fuck, whatever the fuck. Mike calls him out in front of the entire fucking company. We went in uproar. Yeah. Not the executives, not the owners of the company. They pull Mike to the back and put it on Mike as the blame if this company was to go down or now we get attacked, it's off of your talk. Okay, look how life works. That was hurt to see. I was hurt to see that for you. Like, that's my man Mike. Damn, did he do that bad? I thought it was a great talk, etc. Everybody did. And then moments later, the company's struggling financially. And you know what they say? Hey, post
show the Ferrari. Show the Ferrari. Show the
Lambo.
Hey, don't worry about it, man. It's all good. It's cool, man. It's all good.
And that's how you respond.
It's all good, bro. It's life.
It's life.
Shit happens.
And I wish y'all
I'm gonna be real. The person, for example, I'm not gonna say his name,
right.
who was on stage like reiterating when they needed us to do that again.
Yeah.
We good.
I bet.
We're good.
But this is what I'm trying to say. Look, this is why.
No, I'm not even trying to be funny. We good.
And this is my teaching point right here. Because this is what I'm learning from you. I was so hurt by that. And to see how you literally already forgave that. And you're good with the person that reiterate. It's scary.
Because that's not, for me, it's like there's certain things you can't come back from. Right? Direct disrespect.
Okay.
Calling me out of my name or something like that. They ain't never do that. You know what I'm saying? Like disrespecting my children, my family, my mother, stuff like that you can't come back from. But, disagreements with business or like different ideology, whatever. I'll get over that. We're gonna have a difference, but I'll get over that.
Mike, it's always admirable. It's always something I study. I feel like I'll say this: there's some of you people that I don't speak to anymore. There's no bad blood over there, right? It really isn't. On my side, there's no bad blood. Zero. And it's because of the help of watching you do the things that you do. To be honest, I had to learn and be like, if Mike could forgive people from doing that, what am I holding on to? What am I holding? I don't know if I could go the extent that you do and have conversations and be okay with people. But I will say, I got no bad blood with these people. You feel me?
Conversation don't hurt. I mean, we don't speak every day.
No, for sure.
It don't hurt.
It's something that got to be spoken about. It's different. I don't know. I feel like some of my friends, our friends, will be like, I don't know how Mike does that, right? But it has to be spoken on because I guess to come to a landing is, I think we fall out more often than other people do and justify why we should never do business with each other. Should never work with. I don't want to work with black-owned businesses, right? You got to have a black-owned business, but the business got to be good. I'm not just rocking with you because it's black.
Facts.
Stuff to that nature. And yeah, Mike, I think today was a special day, bro. Is there anything else you want to leave us with?
There was this story that happened with you when we were at Sammy's. No, I'm just joking. Next podcast. We're not gonna talk about the next podcast.
Mike almost did that, y'all. Listen, Mike. I'll say this, bro. You've been my boy, bro. This is family. This is really family, and I want y'all to know that I hope those who watch every episode, y'all see that good people really exist, bro. They come from people from Brooklyn are pretty actually. If they're bald and got a beard, you feel me? They might be alright. But dudes from the Bronx, we the ones. You feel me? What I want to say is that dynamic of allowing a range of people coming into your life. Life can really take so many different blossoms and growth if you just pay attention to those people who are intentional. Mike, you've always been intentional, always been a great fucking friend, a great fucking leader, a person you could speak to for hours and hours and time ago because always have something that could learn from, rule out, and really grow from, bro. And I appreciate you always being that person.
It means a lot, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your pod.
Mike almost did some nasty shit when we was in the restaurant. He wanted to bring that up. We're not going to bring that up. I appreciate you.
I'm not going to bring it up.
No, don't bring that up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. I hope. And by the way, if you got to the end of this episode, you owe me money. You owe me money. And if you don't got to pay me. Just give me a subscription. You heard? And
you can give it to me. I'll take it.
Send it to Mike. Subscribe to my channel. Ladies and gentlemen, it's another episode in the Living Room Podcast where we learn, laugh, and heal. Thank you, guys. My man, Mike. Got one in the books.